This is one of life's biggest lessons. You are your own family. One of the hardest life lessons you are ever going to learn is that being family does not automatically mean somebody is safe for you. And I know that sounds harsh because we're taught from childhood that family is supposed to be your people, family over everything, right? That's your cousin, that's your brother, that's your sister, that's your aunt, that's your family. You have to love them. But nobody really teaches women that you can love somebody and still need to keep your distance from them. Because some of the people who know the most about you are also the people who have the most information they can use against you. And sometimes the person sitting at the family function smiling in your face knows exactly what makes you insecure, exactly what's going on in your relationship, exactly what you're working toward, exactly what you're excited about, and they're quietly competing while they're quietly competing with you the entire time. And baby, that's why one of the biggest life lessons I want you to learn is you are your own family first. Before you start asking, but their family, how could they do me like that? How could they do that to me? You need to start asking, what has this person consistently shown me? Because their title in your family does not tell you whether they're safe. Their behavior does. Family can create competition that never needed to exist. Let's talk about something that happens with women and families all the time. Take two girl cousins who grow up around each other. Instead of allowing them to just be two individual girls with completely different lives, families can start comparing them. Who's prettier? Who's skinnier? Who's more popular? Who got married first? Who had kids first? Who has the better job? Who dresses better? Who gets more attention? Who gets complimented more? Who has the better relationship? Oh, that cousin is grown. You don't need to be nothing like your cousin. And before you know it, you've got two girls who should have been able to grow up loving each other, being subconsciously taught that one woman's success somehow takes away from the other. And that's where things get ugly. Because if somebody already has a competitive spirit, that family comparison can give them a reason to compete with you for the rest of their life. And sometimes you don't even realize you're in competition because you never entered one. You're just living. You're going to work. You're taking care of your children. You're building your life. You're dating. You're minding your business. And somehow this person is keeping score. Pay attention to the patterns. You have to start paying attention to behavior. Why is this cousin always around people who don't like you? Why does she seem to have a relationship with everybody who has a problem with you? Why does she have all the information about your life? You never gave it to her. Why does she get irritated when you get attention? Why does she suddenly want to talk to the man who was interested in you? Why does she have something negative to say every time something good happens to you? Why does she get weird when you start improving? Why does she seem happier when you struggling than when you thriving? And let's be clear, one isolated incident does not automatically mean somebody is jealous of you. We're looking at patterns. And usually this stuff has been happening since y'all's childhood because anybody can have a bad day. Anybody can be insecure. Anybody can make a mistake. But when you keep seeing the same behavior over and over again, you need to stop explaining it away simply because you share blood. There are women who have cousins who will literally try to pursue the same men they're pursuing. There are women who have cousins who get angry because a man showed them attention. There are women who will accuse you of talking to somebody because they want that person's attention. And some will even go after your exes. And then everybody wants to act confused when you don't feel comfortable around them anymore, when you don't F with them no more. Girl, your nervous system is not required to ignore a pattern just because somebody is your cousin, just because somebody is your fam. And sometimes the family dynamic is the problem. And this is why I don't want women to look at these situations and only blame the individual woman. Because sometimes the family has been creating this dynamic for years. They probably did it with your mom and that cousin's mom. You have two girls growing up together, and everybody is constantly comparing them. One is the pretty one is the smart one is the successful one is the wild one gets more attention, one gets more praise, one gets more financial help, one gets held to different standards. You know, research on family favoritism and differential treatment has found that these inequalities can affect family relationships and contribute to tension between siblings, even into adulthood. So imagine what happens when people spend your entire childhood putting two women in competition with each other. Eventually, somebody starts believing if she's winning, I'm losing. And that's a dangerous mindset because now your cousin doesn't have to hate you to become competitive with you. She just has to believe that there isn't enough room for both of you to shine. And yes, sometimes social media stuff tells you everything. Sometimes it's something as small as as social media. You post something, it's not even directly about her. You might be talking about something you've experienced. You might post something about women choosing themselves. You might post something about being mistreated, and suddenly she's laughing at it, or making a slick comment, or liking something shady, or interacting with a post that is clearly meant to embarrass you. And you might sit there thinking, why would she do that? Because sometimes people don't have the courage to confront you directly. So they communicate through little digs. That's why I said you need to watch that behavior. They communicate through those little digs, those likes, laugh reactions, comments, indirect posts, mutual friends, family members, and eventually you're sitting there trying to figure out whether you're tripping. You're not supposed to spend your life decoding people. If somebody consistently makes you feel uncomfortable, undermined, watched, competed with, or disrespected, you are allowed to create distance. And let's talk about jealous brothers because women don't talk about this one enough. There are women who have brothers who genuinely struggle with seeing their sisters become independent adults. Your brother grew up knowing you as his little sister. Then suddenly you're grown. You have a career, you have your own money, you have children, you have your own home, you have a husband or partner, you have your own life. And instead of being proud of you, he starts acting like your independence is somehow disrespectful to him. I just did a video about don't raise your daughters to be servants. Maybe he's pissed off because you're not his servant no more. Your parents probably raised you to serve him, clean up after him, clean his room, wash his clothes, wash the dishes, cook the food when y'all get out of school. He starts criticizing your choices, talking negatively about you to your mother, trying to make you look irresponsible, trying to convince your parents that you're changing, that you the problem, trying to make you feel guilty for not needing the family the way you used to, the way he needs the family. And if you have a mother who immediately shuts that down, thank God for her. Because your family should not be a courtroom where one relative gets to build a case against you every time you start doing better. And women, please understand this. You do not have to shrink your life so a relative can feel comfortable with their position in the family. Your brother does not get to be upset because you became successful. Your cousin does not get to be upset because you're attractive. Your sister does not get to be upset because you're married. Your aunt does not get to be upset because you're financially independent and her daughter isn't. Your mother does not get to demand that you tolerate disrespect simply because that's your family. Sometimes you don't see the family for what it really is until something happens. And here's another life lesson that I've learned. Sometimes family dynamics become painfully obvious when the person who was holding everything together is no longer there. A grandmother dies, a mother dies, a father dies, and suddenly the family structure changes. The person who used to mediate everybody is gone. The person who knew everybody's secrets is gone. The person who kept certain people from fighting is gone. And suddenly, old resentment, that competition, entitlement, money issues, inheritance issues, and years of unresolved problems can come right to the surface. And that's when people start realizing, oh, so this is how everybody really feels. But you already knew it. So here's that lesson. You don't have to wait for a family crisis to start paying attention. You better not. because you might be the family crisis. You don't have to wait until somebody dies. You don't have to wait until there's an inheritance. You don't have to wait until somebody betrays you in the worst way possible. Pay attention while people are alive. Pay attention to how they treat you when you're winning. Pay attention to how they treat you when you're vulnerable. Pay attention to whether they celebrate you. Pay attention to whether they respect your boundaries. Pay attention to whether they can be happy for you without making it about themselves. Pay attention to how they treat your kids versus the other cousin's kids, because that person is messy too. The biggest life lesson, and I really want women to take this part seriously. You are your own family first. That doesn't mean you hate your family. It doesn't mean you have to cut everybody off. It doesn't mean every disagreement is jealousy. It means stop giving people unlimited access to you simply because you share DNA. You can love your cousin and not tell her everything. You can love your brother and still have boundaries. You can love your mother and disagree with her. You can love your family and still recognize that certain people are not safe with your vulnerability. And sometimes your chosen family is safer than your biological family. The people you build around yourself, the women who genuinely celebrate you, the people who don't compete with you, the people who don't need you to fail in order for them to feel successful. Those people can become family too. Because family isn't just who you're related to. Family is who protects you, respects you, celebrates you, and wants good things for you without needing something from you in return. Family is your community. So if you've been feeling guilty because you started distancing yourself from certain family members, I want you to really sit with this. You're not required to sacrifice your peace to prove that you're a good relative. You don't have to keep giving somebody access to you because your grandmother would be disappointed. You don't have to keep explaining yourself. You don't have to keep trying to win somebody over. And you definitely don't have to participate in a competition you never signed up for. I really feel like you should be able to have fun with your family, but we know that's not how it turns out. Sometimes the most mature thing you can do is stop trying to convince people to love you correctly and simply adjust their access to you. Because your life is yours, your children are yours, your money is yours, your relationships are yours, your peace is yours, and you are your own family first. So that's the lesson for today. Don't let the word family turn off your discernment. Love people, forgive people when you genuinely want to, but watch people. Believe the patterns, protect your peace, and remember, being related to you is a privilege, not a lifetime pass to mistreat you, not a lifetime pass to access to you. This is Pretty Girl Rich Era, where we heal, level up, and become the best version of ourselves. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.